Hello, welcome to episode 633 of Prog Review. Today, yes, big generator. I don't actually own a copy. You won't hold that against me? It doesn't matter, does it matter? Does any of this matter? I'm only doing this because I need the views, because you didn't bother to watch the last. I did a really good review back there. You couldn't be bothered. You just want the Pink Floyd and the Yes and the Rush and those. That's all you want. That's all you come here for. Nothing but parasites. That's all you are. Parasites just sucking the prog out of me. That's all you are. Can't be bothered. I do perfectly good reviews of other albums. You're not interested. For I'm a slave. I'm a slave in a little box, just serving up the same old shite day in, day out to please you. And so you're getting big generator from Yes. Oh God, originally released September the 21st, 1987. Some of us remember it. Some of us remember seeing this peculiar covered album. You know, it's yellow and red or cyan and blue, depending on. I think the vinyl was that colour and the tape, and I don't know if the tape was a different colour to the CD, but I know the CD's yellow and red, isn't it, or whatnot. Very blocky colours. It's kind of almost like a follow-on in terms of graphic design to the previous record, 90125. That was released, however, in 1983. This is 87. That means there's a 4-year gap, which is quite unusual when it comes to big bands and albums in the 80s, because there was very much a tour album cycle back then, and to leave it 4 years, it's a big thing. And that's because this album had a very difficult conception. Original producer was Trevor Horn, but he fell out with John Anderson and Tony. One-handed case, the one-handed player, remember? That's how he plays. Or is it that? I can never remember which way. You go and watch him. One-handed. It's very good. What does he do with the other hand? We need to ask. But yeah, so they lost a producer. They recorded some of it in Italy, and then some of it, everywhere. There was a lot of partying going on. A lot of partying. You know what I'm saying? A lot of partying went on. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not pointing any fingers, but there's a lot of it. A lot of it. You could say this is Yes's Love Beach, if you wanted to be so cruel. However, there are a couple of good songs on here. That's the great thing about history. You can look back. You can hindsight is a beautiful, wonderful thing. My main issue with the record is it feels less of a Yes album than 90125 did. I mean, 90125, you still had the here you feel that the backing vocals, your John Anderson and the choir backing vocals, was just kind of squeezed on just to give it a sheen of it being Yes. But this is so far removed from Yes music. It's very much, again, Rabin, I think, was probably pushing the project along because everyone else was too busy partying. You know what I mean? It was that kind of partying. A lot of runny noses. A lot of people chewing gum. You know what I'm saying? They know what I'm saying. So yeah. But hindsight is a wonderful thing. And also in this, this time around, Tony Kaye had more of an input into it, whereas before he was kind of drafted in at the last moment on the 90125 album. And he was just there, just kind of make up the numbers. Here, more thing. It opens with Rhythm of Love, which of the 9021010593726 version of Yes, or Yes West, as some of us like to call it, Rhythm of Love is probably one of the best songs they did. I really like it. I can't deny it. It's catchy. It's got that ethereal ooh, and it's a really good opener to an album. I think it's in terms of an album structure, it's either this or side 2 it needs to be on. But this is a really good album opener, and I like it, and I still like it when they do it live. When they do it live, they did it with the ARW thing, They played. I think they played it, and I like it. I'm not, and I'm not ashamed. I am not ashamed to admit that. I think it's very catchy. I like the production of it, and yeah, is it a Yes song? Yeah, they all play on it. It's got a Yes co-credit. You know, all of them: Kay, Rabin, Anderson, Squire. No White. Obviously, it was a drum machine. I'm joking. No, Alan White played on it, but yeah. So I really like that one. But again, it always reminds me, talking about this record, a little story of when I was a strapping young lad full of vim and vigour, you know, spunk. You know, I was full of it then, spunk. It's being spunky. In America, that means like, you know, peppy, you know. You've got filthy minds, you people. But I was full of it. I was full of spunk when I was, I'm going to keep saying it, when I was a young lad, when I was a younger lad, when I was naive, and I was wide-eyed before the weight of the world crushed my spirit. I remember being in college, and sometimes girls would say, "Yeah, I like progressive rock," and you go, "Oh, pray do tell," and they'd say there was a couple of them. So we're like, "Yes," and you go, "Oh yeah, really?" And then they go, "Oh yeah, that Rhythm of Love song's rather good, isn't it?" And then you go, "Oh." Big Generator. It was the one for the girls. The girls like this album. So anyway, the title track follows that, and it is just, I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I think again my problem with it is they are desperately trying to kind of get some of that fire, some of that production, you know, some of that sheen that they had from the 90125 album, and it just sounds derivative and not very good. Not very good. However, Shoot High, Aim Low, I think it's that's not a bad one. It's atmospheric. I think it had potential. It's 7 minutes long, so it's a bit of a long one. But I think, you know, with the right development, that could have been extended into a much more progressive piece. You know, it's almost like it's the start of something. You know. Not sure if it fully resolves itself well. It's almost like it's part one, and there should have been maybe a rockier bit, more complicated bit glued onto it. You know what I'm saying? You know it. You know what I'm saying, don't you? Yeah. Then we have Almost Like Love, which nobody cares about. We'll flip it over. Love Will Find a Way. Again, it was another single, I believe, and it's not a bad song. Of course, it's not a bad song because Rabin originally planned it for Stevie Nicks. It was going to be for her. And she nearly had it. Can you imagine that? What would the album have been like if they hadn't have had this song on there? But again, it's a nice little acoustic, you know, number. It's inoffensive and it's perfect chart fodder. Like it. Finalise. I'm Running. Longest song on the album. And then finally, Holy Lamb, Song for Harmonic Convergence. Oh, John. Here he is. He's hanging around with his hippy drippy friends again. What we're gonna do? You know, we're all gonna meditate together, and there's gonna be harmonic convergence. That's what's gonna happen. Oh, that's my impression of John Anderson, because he does actually talk like that. If you listen to him, Mr. Accrington Stanley, and that's what it's. There was this big hippy dippy thing in LA, I'd imagine, and they're all gonna meditate, and that's what the song's about, because that's going to change the world, isn't it? They'll be rubbing their crystals next. Rubbing their crystals. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. He's trying to again delve into that well of you know, stylistic well that you'd hear with I know, John Evangelis, and you know, some of those acoustic-y numbers that he did, and it just a load of cobblers. It's not a good album. Like I said, there's about 4 half decent songs on it out of 4. So it's, you know, but again, it's not really. It doesn't feel like a Yes album. This is why when ABWH turns up, was it 2 years later? I think it was 2 years later, wasn't it? When did that happen? I never remember. 88. Yeah, 88. So a year later. God, they got that out a year later. It's because I saw them in '89. You see, at Wembley Arena. That's why I always think it's '89, and it isn't. It's '88. So yeah, when ABWH comes out, oh no, it's '89. It was out '89. I saw him in '89. The album's out, but they recorded it in '88. Got to get my chronology right, because otherwise people will, if I don't very explicitly explain, people in the comments go, "Oh, you got it wrong," because they're all mental, aren't they? They've all got a mental illness in the comments. We know that. They're all like, it's all right, I don't care. I'm not sensitive to any of that nonsense. So yeah, just like, that when that came along, it was like, wow, that's that's more like it. That sounds more like what Yes should be in the 80s. You compare Big Generator to ABWH, you can see why it was embraced by so many at the time. Again, maybe in hindsight, hindsight is a wonderful thing. It may sound a little bit dated and a little bit twee in places, but I still have a lot of love for ABWH. I still do. I don't care. I'll fight you. I'll fight you if you disagree. But this record, it's a party album for those who enjoy a good party. And it cost an amazing $2 million to make. That's what Rabin reckons, because they spent most of the money on recording equipment that they didn't really use that much for the studio in Italy. It filmed. They made it in a big castle. They recorded it in a big castle in Italy. And of course, you had to have all the and then Trevor quit, and it's just not a good way to make a record, is it really? So yeah, in terms of rating, this gets 2 Holy Lambs out of 5. I mean, it really is bad, but it's not as bad as, say, Open Your Eyes. But it's kind of on the level of Heaven and Earth. Mind you, compared to this, Heaven and Earth is like Dark Side of the Moon. It's just Yes, they're a funny old group, because when they do stinkers, they do real absolute humdingers of an album, But then we forgive them. And they do stuff like ABWH and Union. I like Union. You start about Union. I'll clump you one. I will. I'm ready for a fight. So yeah, if you're thinking, oh, do you know what? I really want to check out Big Generator by Yes. There are 2 options. You either listen to Rhythm of Love, because that's all you need, or you pick out for £1 in the bargain bin. There must be a second-hand record shop or an Oxfam. You should be able to pick this up for quids second-hand, and then rip it, and then give it back to the charity shop or something, so they can fool another idiot into buying this album. Yeah, terrible. And I can't imagine what the record execs at Atlantic or Atco would have thought when they delivered this. We wanted hits. We wanted another 90125, and it didn't quite happen. So that's that. Don't forget, you can buy merch. There's merch now. Oh, I've got merch. Teespring merch. You can buy mugs and cups and stuff, and yeah, it's going to be great. I got merch, so you can thumbs me down for that, and I don't give a fuck, because it's all engagement, because that's the kind of guy I am. Don't give a damn. But yeah, merch. Don't forget your merch. You need your merch, because it's a thing. It's more. I did it more for fun than anything else. But yeah, if you want your, I don't know, I have to do some Prog on t-shirts, won't I? We've got. It's ruined. I've touched it. T-shirts with vinyl and a finger. That's good. Get that for the audiophile in your life. And mugs. We've got mugs. There's be some mugs and stuff. But merch. I got merch. I'm just like every other YouTuber now. Just like everyone else. So to give me a big healthy thumbs down for plugging the merch, because you know what? It's all engagement, and I don't care. I don't care. It's good being me. So anyway, that's it. I think I've done it all. I've been talking about Big Generator by Yes, the 12th studio album, originally released 21st September 1987. And that's it. I think I've done all the Yes studio albums now. I think I've done them all. So may we never talk about them again. All right. Seems fair. All right, there's only one more thing left to say, and that is Prog on.